Good morning,
Afternoon.
afternoon. I have special guest today, Lucy Velez.
Veloz.
Veloz.
Yes.
That's right. Tell listeners a little bit about you.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Lucy, turning 37 a few months from now. But right now, I'm pretty much in the government industry. I work for a federal bankruptcy court for 5 years now, but I've been in the legal field close to 16 years, straight out of college. So I started a new career about 5 years ago, pretty much supervising 20 employees on the floor. It's been a very exciting process for me because I went from being supervised to supervising. It has its challenges, but definitely it's been like a life-changing experience for me. I think it's helped me grow, not just as an individual, as a mom, but also just as a working mother, like in today's day and age, right?
That is very impactful. I mean, almost everyone that I surround myself with has children. So either they're in full-time work or they have a business. The whole balancing act of life. But I learned the other day that balance is a lie. Do you ever find balance? No.
Right.
You just have to figure it out.
Exactly.
Literally make everything work and still be able to maintain your day-to-day schedule, your time with your family, all that stuff. So the fact that you are still in corporate, because I call any 9 to 5 like job, I call it corporate. Because I'm like, that's the corporate world to me. And then you also have clothing boutique.
Yes.
You want to talk about
that?
Yeah,
Absolutely. So we have a clothing boutique. It's an online business that I started with two of my partners, Joanna and Neferty. We have now about 2.5 years with the boutique. So again, we're very new to what is being new to the entrepreneur world.
Yeah.
So we're still quite honestly getting our feet wet and networking and trying to find people that are also testing the waters and really trying to explore, is this the line of work that I want to stay in, or where can I grow from this even further?
Do you mean the clothing boutique? Is that the line of work you want to stay in, or is your job?
Definitely my job.
Okay.
I really love what I do, which is public service.
I haven't heard that in so long from someone that has a 9 to 5 type of job. I haven't heard somebody say I love my job.
I know.
But no, that's good.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are like, I want this entrepreneur life. I want to quit my job. And I'm like, it's not that easy.
No.
I think they think of it as freedom instantly.
Oh, no.
And there's a big controversy on that. I have been doing entrepreneurship full time, I think 10 years now. Before that, I had a job and I did it on the side, my event business. And honestly, it was so much harder to go full-time by myself than knowing that I was going to get paid every week.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that was the biggest thing for me. Oh shit, this is not that easy. And it still hasn't been. And I'm in 14 years in one business now. And then I had the location for 3 years and I started the coaching last year. So I've been changing where I'm at, but sometimes I had the itch to go back. Should I just go back to work? This is crazy. But I know mentally I can't do it.
I want to know more about that.
I personally don't like working for other people. I realized after having the taste of freedom and being able to be present more at home, I didn't want to risk that again.
That's food for thought. Yeah. Absolutely.
I didn't want to risk missing out on my children's life anymore. I missed out on a lot of my daughter's life. She's 21 now. I had her very young and I had to keep going to school, to work. I didn't have a choice. I was on hustle mode for so long. And don't get me wrong, entrepreneurship is hustle mode too. So whoever says they're not hustling is a liar, unless they were born into money, honestly.
100%.
Because an entrepreneur doesn't pick up in 5 minutes. And if they do, it has happened where in a year or two, a business blows up. But you have to have the right business for it to go wow, and
exactly.
People really need that. And
the right niche.
Yes, you can't just be oh, I see this is fun. Everyone else is doing it. I'm going to do it too. And then expect to stand out right away. That's not the way this works.
That's not how it works.
No, even with the clothing boutique, I thought about that when I first met you guys. I'm like, that's so cool. But I can imagine how hard that is because styles keep changing.
Absolutely.
And then you have to pick up.
And the marketing, and the competition.
And then exposing yourselves to the outfits. Are you wearing it? Who's wearing it? Who's going to model today? Who's going to put this on? And I'm sure you've maybe reached out to people with, oh, can you put this on and promote it for us or whatever? I mean, that's where my head goes with stuff like that.
Absolutely. And we did.
Who has a big following that can wear this outfit for us and tag us, or who's willing to showcase this for us to help us? That type of stuff for the business. I know fashion is not going anywhere, but staying on top of the trends is so hard. Because I wake up and what the fuck is this now?
Yeah.
What is this girl wearing? And then I'm all right, maybe I like that one too. But then I'm oh my God, I would have kept all my bell bottoms from back in the day because they're back.
They're all back.
I would have kept all my wide leg, the boyfriend jeans, which are really just baggy ass pants that we used to wear. I was like, ain't nobody wearing this ever again. And here we are. And I'm like,
unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
And on top of that, it's like, you know, with social media, obviously, back in the day, people were able to mix and match more outfits. But we live in a society where we're really in tune to just wearing things maybe once or twice at the most.
Oh my God, girl.
Let's talk about that, right?
I stopped doing that because I just don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I am not loaded. So there was times where I would be like, I can't wear this again. I took a picture in it. And I do a lot of in-person events and I take a lot of pictures, as you've seen. I sell myself now as a brand. I am my brand, so I'm always dressed up. I'm always dressed, you know, to go out. You'll see me every now and then in my gym clothes because I do like to wear my leggings all the time. They're super comfortable. But I stopped the theory of you wore that already. Someone saw you. Exactly. You can't wear it again. I don't give a shit anymore because you can wear the same jeans 3 days literally in a row
and style it different
and change the look. I don't do it in a row, but you can, and somebody will not notice because they're looking at the new top or the way the sneakers you have on or whatever. So to me, I feel like you just have to have that sense of style 100%. In order to flip your outfits.
And that's one thing I think with the boutique that we really try to empower women with. Not just your body size, right? The body size is like, how do you feel confident in wearing something? We got a lot of feedback in the beginning, like, oh, your clothes are too small. I don't think that's going to fit me, or I don't know how much stretch it has. And we're like, hey, try it on. You don't know, right? Try it on, see how you feel with it.
Yeah.
There was not one person that tried one of our pieces and literally loved it right after. They're like, oh my God, I can't believe this fits me. And like, you know, we undermine ourselves way too much sometimes. And I think when it comes to that, it's like fashion is also about being risky and being comfortable with your body. For us, for example, I was the heavier one from 3 of us, right? Okay. And I am more comfortable, like being obviously in front of the TV and a microphone. So I was totally okay for like vouching for like the heavier girls, you know, let's wear
You're
this.
not even that heavy.
I lost 20 pounds since COVID, but
oh well, congratulations.
Yeah,
but I get what you mean because there's people that I hang out with and I'm the thicker one and I say that and they're like, oh my God, shut up. And I'm like, but if we're being honest, I have the bigger legs. Our bodies are all different. So
exactly.
And I know Nefertiti, so I know in that retrospect, ella es flaquita.
Exacto.
You know, so I get it. You're not a big person.
Yeah, no.
You are tall though.
I am tall. I'm like, I think for an average girl, which is like 5'4", I want to say.
I'm average because that's my height.
I'm 5'6", probably border 5'7".
Well, and then when you have shoes on,
I'm taller.
Because you're tall, so like in DR is like una mujerón, like
I think, that is true.
Yeah,
that is
but
true.
It's not like you're good. Like you're not. Oh my God, I'm bigger and bigger and bigger. No, and I don't want you to think like that because that fucks people up too in the head.
Absolutely.
Thinking, and that's one thing with fashion. Fashion isn't about what you're wearing; it's who's wearing it realistically and how you wear it. Because I feel like someone can pull something off, and I might love it, and I'll put it on, and I'll feel so uncomfortable, and it's gonna show in my face. Like I look uncomfortable. So I won't wear something if I genuinely if I don't feel comfortable. And I know that I'm going to be in public or take pictures or any of that. I just rather not. And that's my 2 cents to people that want to try something new. Try it. Put it on. But if you don't feel confident or comfortable to leave the house, don't wear it because you're going to be miserable the whole time wherever the hell you're at. I'm telling you because it's happened to me. That I agreed to someone else styling me once and I was like, the whole day, like, damn, I should have worn something else. Like, I was getting compliments, but I still didn't feel comfortable.
Okay.
Because it was not my style. So I was like, damn, I should have just worn what I was going to wear. Like, I styled myself. You let that shit get to you, but it is what it is.
I had a different experience when it came to that, even though, of course, I have like my own style, but I have let like Joanna, who's one of my partners, style me. And I always kept it clear, like, this is what I like. And she sort of knows what I like.
Yeah.
But it was different probably to what I would normally go for. And I did like it, to be quite honest. I think that just to add to what you said, like just confidence, right? Sometimes is not just what you wear, but also like your confidence with how you wear it. I think that goes hand in hand. I personally try to bring a lot of confidence to the table with what I wear, even though, I may not have that slim body or, on the slimmer end.
Yeah, but I was just talking to my son about this the other day because he was talking about not feeling confident one day. And I said, well, what is it? Because you're an attractive kid. Like, what's bothering you?
Exactly.
And then, he's going through puberty, whatever. And I'm like, listen, what I learned throughout these years about confidence, it's literally not what you look like. It's how you feel and how you show show out, like how you show up.
How do you portray it?
Yeah, like I've been told that I'm one of the most confident people in the world. Mm-hmm. And there's days I feel like hell and I want to fucking crawl in a hole and cry.
Exactly.
And I'm like, okay. But to other people, I'm so confident because I have transformed. I have changed. It's inner work. It's not about an appearance anymore.
Exactly.
Like I had this fixation years ago with the scale. And it was like, if I lose this amount, I'm going to be this weight and then I'm going to look better. That's what I kept telling myself. But then I'm like, I haven't lost a pound in like 4 or 5 months. And people are like, you're so skinny. You're losing so much weight. I'm like, I weigh the same. It's just the way my body's shifting as I'm getting older, the way I'm training.
That's so interesting.
So now my body, I'm losing fat, gaining muscle. So I'm plateauing at the number. But if I kept telling myself I'm still heavy, I'm going to feel heavy. I'm going to feel ugly. I'm going to, like all those feelings were going to come back. So I was trying to tell my son that like, it's not about what you look like. It's literally how you show up, how you walk in a room, how you introduce yourself. That is being confident. Showing up and not giving a shit what anybody's going to think.
100%.
And putting yourself out there no matter what. And giving 100% up to whatever you're putting yourself into, because I feel like a lot of people are just like, oh, I can't go on live. I'm not dressed, or I don't have my makeup on, or whatever. I'm like, there's filters for this, to be honest. 100%. Unfortunately, I don't care for the filters. With me, I don't care to use them. If I use them, it is because I am having a down day and it's to take a picture. But if I go on live, you're going to get me. I'm on here, you're going to get me. And do I wear makeup? Yes. But when you meet me, I don't look like a different person. So like people with the filtering is getting OD where I meet people. I'm like,
they look like
the person that's on their Instagram. It's so crazy. And I just feel like, everything goes back to they're not confident enough to show up unmasked. Without that shit, right? Show your true colors. I know we went into like a whole nother realm right now, but fashion, first of all, the whole thing, everything you've said so far goes to confidence to me, because the fact that you are confident in your job is huge. You're confident there, you love it there, you don't plan on leaving. So that is for the people that are tuning in that are like, I don't know what to do because I want to go this way. To me, I always tell this to the people that I coach. I'm like, when they're like, I want to quit, I'm like, I am never going to tell you to quit your job unless you are 1,000% secure with your business.
Exactly.
And you figure out health insurance if you have children, and for yourself, not only your children, but yourself. You figure out if the money makes sense. Are you going to overwork now? Quit your job because you want more time at home, but then you go broke.
Exactly. There's so much
to evaluate that I've never told any of my students, I think you should quit, because I am not taking the blame for that.
No,
I think people need to evaluate where they're at before taking that leap. I'm all for taking risks. I'm all for leaping. But when it comes to your family, money, your time, your health is big for me right now. It's more important to me. It's making sure I'm good internally versus physically.
Exactly.
Because I'm getting older. Make sure those things are secure before you say fuck this job and leave.
100%.
Because I've heard some stories and I'm like, they're going back to work.
Yeah.
And that job may not take you back.
That's 100%.
That job that has your 401k, that has your insurance, that has your thing, may be like, you know what, you left and we don't care.
God bless the people that might feel like, oh, I am in a position in my business where I could do that. It takes a lot of building and a lot of time. If people are there, like, that's definitely admirable. But like you said, like, you have to weigh in so many other circumstances. 100%. When I think about like what you said about, even going back to the confidence aspect of it and how you told your son, a lot of that I feel also tunes in with our mind. Obviously, it's a mindset and it makes me feel like if your mind is light because you're living a healthy life where you are in tune with yourself, you're growing, that's a light mind in the sense that you don't have so much burden and you can really just kind of carry out your day to day.
Yeah.
But if you're like overly stressed about weight, finances, and all these other circumstances, then you're really relying on a heavy mind. And with a heavy mind, we have a heavy body and a heavy lifestyle.
And everything is fucked.
Everything is fucked.
Because I've just said this before you got here. I was on the phone with a friend and we were talking about one mutual person that we know. And I said, well, their mind is cluttered right now. This person is cluttered. You ever have a friend or a family member that they're just always negative?
Absolutely.
And then you realize like, okay, your mind is so cluttered. Every time we talk, there's something wrong. Every time there's something wrong. And I'm like, but you're not doing absolutely anything to change that. I can't help you anymore. That's a you problem now.
100%.
And you have to figure out what is going to make sense for you and what help you need to get, because enough is enough. And it drags everyone else around you down. And it's not fair to those around you that have continuously helped you. So when I try to help people, the first thing I do in my coaching is mindset. Where is your mind at right now? Where's your mind at home? Where's your mind at with your money? Where's your mind at with your relationship? Where's your mind at with your job or business? You could be amazing at your job and a terrible parent, or vice versa.
Vice versa. Pouring like too much energy in one cup.
Or like if you're running a business and you have a partner, trust me, that partner is going to feel it. It's a juggling act. It's not a balance. There's no balance. It's literally a juggling act. What do I do here? Where do I go next? Like, that's something that I always tell people. If you can't get your goals in order, prioritize what makes sense to you, what's more important, you cannot just run a random business. I just know from my history of, should I go back to work? Should I stay here? I chose struggling a little bit more financially because at that era of my life, I needed to be more present at home. So I chose that.
You chose that, yeah.
And was it easy? No, because my finances went downhill.
But that's where, like, at that point in your life, like, that's where your calling was.
Yeah, my calling was I need to change something. When you know deep down inside, all right, something is not adding up, then you finally get to look within. That's when things start changing and you feel it.
Finding answers, right?
You start finding answers. You wrote something in the sheet. I hand out questionnaires to people that are coming on the show, and everybody answers the same question. Everybody answers it differently, obviously. You mentioned the line, and it said, many of us may be leading in this day and age, but few do it with humility and heart. Can you elaborate on that?
Absolutely. I'm going to answer that briefly, but I just don't want to forget what you said about, like, certain things when you're around people that are negative, and sometimes you have to walk away. I just want to say briefly that pours heavy on me because I feel like this has been a year for me where I've taken
detached.
Yeah, for sure. Friendships, relationships, family members. I can't even tell you. I try to be very objective, and that probably goes hand in hand with humility, right? Because when you're an individual and you are experiencing a challenge, a disagreement with anyone, it takes a lot of not just courage, but human qualities to really step away from that situation and be objective and analyze it, right? There's always two sides to a story.
There's three.
There's three.
Point A, point B, and
who delivers
the truth.
The truth. That's intense. I never looked at it like that.
Yeah, I learned that years ago because everybody would be like, well, that's her side, that's my side. And I'm like, well, one of you fucking people are lying.
So I'll define myself as point C because I do try to, like, step away from the situation to see what
bigger
occurred.
Picture.
Absolutely. And I think that's what makes me walk around this life with a lot of humility, because I try to really stick to, where did I act from? Or where did that person act from, right? Was it their experiences, their childhood experiences, which we know that paves the way to, like, where we end up down the road.
It does, because I feel like certain people act out now on the situation based on how they were raised or how their parents used to do something or their siblings used to do something for them. And they'll never admit that it has to do with that because they don't realize it. They don't realize that they're holding on to this trauma, to these dilemmas, to these problems. It's funny because when I started coaching, I just went into business coaching. I'm just coach women in business. That was my thing. But every time I would get a new client or something, it became a lot of life coaching. And I was like, what is going on here? Sometimes your niche comes to you without you knowing. I've realized that because I'm like, I was digging deep. What should I do? What should I name myself? Who am I? What do I do? Who is Josie the coach? And how do I help people? Yeah. So I realized that I help them work on a past trauma and transform to who they are today. So my niche became a transformational coach. Because to me, I cannot help your business if your life is in shambles.
That's so powerful.
And I can't.
Yeah.
I've literally cut a contract up. We can't continue until you go to therapy, because I'm not a therapist. So I can help you as much as I can or guide you in life moments. But when it gets so deep, I guide you to go somewhere else, because I'm not going to take your money just because, when you really need to heal internally.
That's powerful.
And that's me being humble and from the heart. Because if I wanted to just do it in a need basis, I would have taken a lot of clients just to take their money.
Exactly. And
help whatever way I could. Meanwhile, they were going to finish the program and go right back because nothing worked. Because to me, is you should not start coaching or go to therapy until you're ready to commit to do the work.
And it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
I was talking to a good friend of mine. One of the things that she was telling me in her line of work was very similar to that, which is when I'm meeting with someone or, like, just doing like a consultation, it's like a therapy session. She's like, I've got to take time once a month to, like, detach and go somewhere, do something, because it's like, I'm bringing in so much of, like, their energy that I have to release that and, like, refresh and, like, go back to my line of work. That's just very interesting. You go to the hair salon, you go to the barber shop. I mean, these people all become like
we're all service
your
providers.
therapist.
Yeah. And the thing is, anyone that works with people needs to also work with a person for themselves.
Exactly.
So like I have a coach and I have a therapist because I'm a human. I have caught myself being an empath where I take on everyone's emotions, but I finally learned to detach that. Where your problems are your problems, my problems are mine. I can help you to an extent. I can guide you in a certain way, but I'm not going to solve your problems for you.
And that's a realization that I also honestly just made like within this year. I consider myself also a giver more than a taker. So, you know, when I meet people, I tend to really want to like pour of myself to them. Then your cup becomes empty. And then you start to realize there's only so much you can do for anyone that you love if they don't have the motivation within themselves to really push forward. That's a tough realization in life to make.
It is tough because it goes into the next question, which is great. We're Hispanic and Latina women are raised to cater to their man,
family,
their children.
Yeah, 100%.
Take care of your parents when they get older. Take care of everybody and then go fuck yourself, basically, in lighter terms. We're supposed to be these women that don't really work. Our job is at home, our children, our husbands, and whenever somebody needs us, from una prima, una tia, whatever, right? My question to you is, as a Latina in corporate world and business, how do you feel about the Hispanic influence on entrepreneurship and our stereotypes and all that stuff? You know, like how does the Hispanic culture influence the way society perceives working mothers?
I'll tell you what, I have a hard time saying no. So one of the things my sister actually is encouraging me to is to practice it more. She's like, you know, you definitely are a yes, yes, yes. And again, I think that just comes from like me wanting to just be a giver, like you said. But I am pretty busy I have 2 kids, my husband, work. It's a lot. And I struggle with that. Honestly,
you feel bad when you have to say no?
I absolutely do. I am going to start practicing it more. It's part of like my goal
and you
to
have
myself.
To say no and not give a reason why.
Okay, explain that.
That's when you really got it. Okay. No, why? Because I don't want to.
Got it.
That's it. Not because you know, no, nobody really cares why there's a no. They just want to know why you're telling them no.
That's really it.
Yeah. Eventually, when you get to that point, you're going to be like, wow, Josie said that day. And I'm going to say no and then say, because I don't want to, if they ask me why. And you're going to feel good and you're not going to feel guilty. You're not going to feel bad because I don't feel like it. That's it. I don't feel like it.
Listen, I'll text you when that happens.
I don't feel like it. Like, I've been invited. I don't want to go. I've always been are you going? If you're going, I'm going. But I've gotten that call. Are you going this weekend? Because if you go, I'll go. I'm like, bro, just go without me. No, I want to go if you go. And I'm like, I'm not fucking going. Yeah. Like, I don't care what it is. There's days I don't want to do anything, but I used to go for so-and-so to have a good time. Y yo ahí, why did I come here? Yeah. So I don't do that anymore. I don't do the whole catering to everyone around me anymore where I leave myself. And then it took years because I was the yes woman. And my friends would always be like, yo, you say yes to everybody. Everyone in your family, you know, your partner at the time, obviously my kids. It got to a point where I was like, damn, I legit am a doormat. They just keep stepping on me. And I'm like, this don't feel right.
Yeah.
And it's not fair. But because we're raised to cuidar, take care, and give,
it's difficult to
break that.
Absolutely.
Are your parents in your life?
They are. My parents are in my life. They're both elderly. I'm the youngest of 3 from mom and dad. And then I do have stepsister from my father's first marriage.
So how do they see? Like, how was your upbringing with that? They're still married?
My parents are married.
That's nice that they're still married.
Oh, yeah. They're still married.
That's beautiful, actually.
Why do you think that?
That it's beautiful?
Yeah.
Because not many people stay married.
Oh, absolutely.
There's literally people that I'm like, why are you still married? I always just see it in the older relationships. Okay. Life, I think, was way different then. So they didn't deal with a lot of the shit that we have to deal with now. No. And we don't have to deal with it now. Some people deal with it because they feel like they have to. And then there's kids. So people are like, I can't get a divorce because of the kids. Yes. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but your kids are going to leave you one day and you're going to be stuck with this person.
I had someone recently tell me that.
Yeah.
Because I have someone that's in a similar situation. And she's like, when people leave each other, your kids get older and your kids move on. And you have to make sure that whatever decision you make that's eternal, it's something that you're willing to live with for the rest of your life. Because they will grow up, they will leave, and then it's you and your significant other.
And if you're miserable now, you're going to just be miserable for the rest
of it.
Yeah. I'm not for divorce unless it's something that is detrimental and you're literally living a lie. I know too many people living a lie right now and putting up a facade on Instagram because that's what it is. Now social media has this fake facade for people to think
family,
that everyone is happy and everyone, nope, not everyone is 100% happy. So just to answer your question, no, I do not think certain people need to stay married forever. I'm a love sappy person deep down inside. I knew it eventually come out as I got older. I wasn't like that growing up. When I see stories, even movies, I'm like, oh my God, that's so cute. Or like when people rekindle after years of breaking up and that's their person and they knew that, I'm like, oh, that's so sweet.
It's out there.
It's out there. I know I'm gonna have that one day, but I'm not rushing it because I'm like, I've been through too much. But I do like seeing like my best friend's parents. They're beautiful, and I see them, and I'm like, the whole family is just really close knit. I didn't have that growing up. I did have that with them though. I would come over. They were like my family, you know. So I felt like at home. But the parents being together, the siblings really close, we didn't have that in my house. So when I see it now, I'm like, wow, that takes work. And
Are your parents alive?
They're alive. They're not together. They've been separated since I was 9. So like I don't know what it's like to have both people at home. We're a very distant family. Like no one really talks a lot. It's a very Latino thing to do.
Yeah.
No affection. Hey, what's up? How are you? It's continued for years. So when I see it and I hear it, I'm like, oh, that's nice. They're happy and they're good, whatever. Cool. If they're not, it's not nice, but whatever works for everybody.
Absolutely.
You know? But the reason I asked about your parents was because sometimes your mother primarily may have an opinion on the fact that either you work too much or the kids, you know, grandmas, they're like, ¿Qué tú haces? The kids are never eating enough.
Oh my God, you hit it right on the spot, right?
Yeah, like you're supposed to feed them 24/7. Yeah, oh my God. I saw this guy and he's like, yo, our parents are not our parents when they become grandparents.
They're different.
He's like, who the hell are these people?
100%.
Are helping us raise these kids. Because he's like, I don't know this lady that keeps giving my kid whatever. And I was laughing because I'm like, yo, because they're just like, yeah, they're the yes people after that. And then if you say no in front of them,
you're the bad parent.
You're a bad parent, right? Yeah. Has your mom had any influence on what you've done, like with your business or job?
Absolutely. I think my mom was not a working mother outside of her household growing up. So that right there influenced me to like know that that's not the route that I wanted. You know, I did want to be like a working person because I do like to be independent and I do like to have a say within my household and outside of my household. And growing up, honestly, she didn't have that. Like my dad was very meticulous, even when it came to like what was being cooked for dinner. The curtains that went up on the walls. She was very like maternal. So it was really about like raising me, my sister, my brother.
Yeah, making sure you guys were good.
Absolutely. She poured a lot of love into that, a lot of care. She influenced and continues to influence me in respect that she is a go-getter, and there's a word that actually sticks to me growing up with my mom. It was always perseverancia, which is perseverance.
Okay. I've never heard that in Spanish, but it sounds just like it.
Perseverancia. Yeah, it was such, you know, that's the word that resonates to me when I think of my mother. Whether it be like, I lost a toy, don't give up, we're going to find it, no matter what.
Aww.
So I have that in my genes. Like there is nothing that will come before me that I know I won't overcome. And I can't tell you that little thing that my mom taught me has really built me into the woman I am today. Just the word.
But that's so powerful because everyone thinks you have to do like such huge impact. But you just said a word.
A word.
A word has helped you move forward in certain things in life, whatever, and like whatever's thrown your way, right? You wrote strength is a matter of the mind, and then you wrote about losing someone when you were 18 due to suicide. I don't want to get into detail on that, but I wanted to ask, can you share any specific strategies or practices that helped you find courage to move forward after experiencing such a profound loss? I like talking about this stuff because there are a lot of people going through something and not talking about it.
Absolutely.
So what helped you get through it? Because a lot of people don't know how to get through stuff
something
like that.
Absolutely. That was actually 2005. I had just graduated high school. I was already going into college, and literally I think I must have had like 2 weeks because I was starting college over the summer. 2 weeks to like really just pack my bags and head there. So it was very rough time. And I think that life, sometimes things happen and you don't even have time to think about it. You don't have time to heal from it. You just sort of got to move on with it. And that's exactly like what I did. I knew that this was a one lifetime opportunity for me. It's like, what am I going to do? I have to go to college. It's going to set me back a semester, a year. So I left. I was very lucky to find like a group of friends, a very strong group of friends that are still my friends today.
In college,
that really helped me throughout it. I want to say probably if had I not had that kind of support, it would have been very tough.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I would, go eat, go to class, go back to my room. And I had a good friend, Carrie, was the first person I met in college, and literally just like pull me out like, hey, let's go eat together.
Right.
Or let's go hang out together.
It's like they know.
They know.
And they're young. That was young times. It's nice to know that at that age, there was already people that kind of had your back without you knowing.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it's not going to be your family. It's going to be strangers.
Yeah. And it was just that.
That's what I'm saying.
It was definitely
it's not going to be your family. Sometimes in some of your darkest times, it's going to be a stranger.
Yeah.
It's weird, but it's happened to me. You learned that your healing journey is healing others. And I don't know if that happened because of this.
It's something I've realized later on in my life because of the pattern that I started seeing with the people that I would bring into my life.
Were you like finding everyone that was going through something?
Absolutely.
Were you dating people like that too?
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's like, I want to take care of you.
But it was so subconsciously.
And that's the thing. You don't know you're doing it. But it's because you felt something what needed to heal in you. And I feel like when we look to heal others, it's because we're healing ourselves subconsciously without knowing. Yeah. You might be like, damn, they're going through this thing and XYZ. And then when you write it out, or if you do journal or whatever, you're like, damn, I was kind of going through the same shit. So it's like a self-help
at the same
situation.
time.
Yeah. It's not healthy because I know now. But before, I never saw a problem with it.
Never saw a problem with it.
But it becomes a pattern for a long time. With the healing journey, I wanted to ask you, how has your journey of healing others contributed to your own personal growth and strength?
To your point, to add to what you just said, I think there comes a point where you realize I've done my share of giving. I don't want to take from anybody. I want to pour into myself. I was a giver once. I don't want any givers in my life.
Yeah, you're not doing it because you want something in return.
Absolutely not. Anything that comes from me to anyone else is from the heart. So I think there just came a point where it clicked very recently.
Let me tell you, you're 36. That's so funny because I'm going to be 40. 35 into 36 is when I said I have to change something. And I don't know what it is in the women in their mid-30s. That's literally lately when something is like, ya está bueno. I got to do something. And something will happen, or a click in your brain goes off when your life is not going the right path.
Exactly.
I guess because this is the people that I'm trying to surround myself now with. Is people like that are working on themselves or have already worked on themselves and can help me progress. I don't want to keep falling back on the, fulana needs help, let me help her, and then my cup is empty again. Yeah, I don't want to feel like that anymore. So I'm glad that worked for you, and it's still working for you because you're still on that journey. In your healing journey, did you do anything specific, like an example of like how you've seen the personal growth from healing others?
I think that when it did click for me, it made me realize that first and foremost, you loving anyone besides yourself really has to start with yourself. Something very powerful that my sister told me and also has been like instrumental in my personal development and my healing process is no one will ever be able to love you right, or you will not ever be able to love somebody else right if you're not first doing it for yourself.
Oh yeah, that's big. That's big.
It's like the key to life.
It's literally so true because I experienced that in my last relationship.
Yeah.
Not on my end. Firsthand with him, because he was in love with me for so long before I felt that, and then he fell off for himself, and then he couldn't love me anymore and said, I can't do this because I need to work on me. He said that. And I was like, what the fuck?
When it started, it was the other way around where
he was so in love with me, but then he felt like he went through some stuff, personal stuff, but then he fell off. And like went on this dark journey. And I was like trying to start my healing journey. So I was like doing so many things and it hit me like, I'm like, damn, he can't love me anymore because he doesn't love himself right now.
It was like an imbalance.
It was literally, I can't do both. He could not do both. He could not love me the way that I needed to be loved. And it hit me. I told him, you can't love me anymore the way you did at one point because you don't even love yourself right now.
Exactly. That's powerful.
And I had to be okay with it because at first I'm like, well, what did I do? What should I change? How do I help him? How do I help him? How do I help him? Because that's what I was doing, trying to fix him.
Exactly.
But then I'm like, I can't fix that. That's a personal problem. So I had to accept that, okay, this is just over until he fixed himself, maybe. But we never got back together, but it was just a learning process for me too, and a healing process for me to know now that if I ever want to start another relationship or pursue that, I have to physically 100% love myself first.
Do you feel like you're there?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Because I'm not ready to date. We broke up. It'll be 2 years. I know people are like, oh my God, it's been 2 years. It's not
That's
like that for
nothing.
me. Yeah. Because the whole last year, I didn't really focus on me.
Okay.
I was still like, just like getting over it. But then I was like, all right, it's go time.
This is my time.
Like, this it. Yeah. And then I was like, all right, I don't want to be in a relationship. Like, I'm not ready.
And that's big too, because that means like you're at a point in your life where you already know your boundaries, like how far you're willing to go with anyone.
And I told myself I need to, not only manifest, because everyone's like manifest, but you got to put in the work when you manifest, right? I want to find somebody that is compatible to me, that can match my energy, that can match my drive, that will go as hard as I go for them. It's been hard to like even think of this future person. So I know I'm not there yet to even start thinking about him. But I know that I'm itching a little like, should I be going out? But then it's like, where am I going to go?
I know the
dating scene looks so weird.
That's what I hear. That's what I hear from my
shit.
Single friends. So.
It's weird. The shit I be hearing on those dating apps, I'm like, ew, I don't want, no, ni me hablen. What advice or insight would you offer any individuals who are either currently facing their own difficult challenges or trying to find the strength to keep moving forward in life?
I think most importantly is setting like our pros and cons. It's big. Like when you're in a space where you're struggling with something, any obstacle, any challenge in your life, whether it be like financially, emotionally, it's kind of like if you don't want to journal and you just want to do like a list, like this is what's working for me, this is what's not working for me. And slowly you just have to start like reducing that. The cons that are not working, the people that you're around, the places that you're going, where you're spending your money in. Again, I'm speaking from a point of growth within the last year. So like you, I'm just like literally wetting my feet into that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When I speak of perseverance, I definitely speak on like if you're in a low level of your life that you're struggling with anything, don't sit back and expect anyone else to come fix that problem for you.
No one's going to save you.
No one is going to save you. What are you going to do today? What are you going to wake up and do different? What class are you going to take? What training session? What therapy session? Whatever it takes is what are you doing different to break that pattern? If you sit there and feel like sleeping it off is going to fix it for you, I feel sorry for you, Sleeping Beauty, but wake up.
When you're depressed, it's easy to just fall asleep anywhere.
100%.
Like anywhere. So if you catch yourself falling asleep randomly, if you're exhausted all the time, if you just don't find energy, you are officially depressed. I'm telling you right now, guys, if this is you,
those are the signs.
Go get help. One of the biggest signs of depression is overeating and sleeping all the time. And any type of drug abuse, meaning a lot of liquor, a lot of smoking weed. If you were never a big drinker or you smoking a lot of weed lately, you're going through something. Depression, anxiety, something. Look into it, get help, because it's not going to get better unless you do.
Absolutely. And, life is just too short to pour into that kind of energy.
And if you're depressed and your friend is depressed, y'all need a break.
That too.
Because what the fuck?
Send your friends to it. Go with your friend.
Go find a 2-for-1 therapy session, because no, not it. No, I'm sorry. Eso se pega.
Se pega. And it's just like...
La mega se pega, and so does depression. So I really do feel like if you're surrounded with people that have a lot of like mental health issues, I get it. We all go through it. I've had it. But if they don't do anything to get out of it and they just keep going, eventually you're going to start feeling like it's you. And then you're going to become randomly depressed about their life, your life, everyone's. And then it's like, what the fuck? But I really do feel like weeding out the people.
Yeah, that energy. Absolutely. Like you said, if somebody's not willing to get help, there's only so much you can do for anyone. I'm an example of that because of the situation we mentioned. Being a good friend doesn't cut it. If somebody's not mentally there and ready to help themselves, there is nothing you can say and you can do. Nothing. Be a friend. Yeah. Try to give them a service line. If you have a service line. But don't pour so much of yourself that you're going to lose yourself.
That is a fact. I always ask everybody that comes on the show, what is success to you?
Success. It has to be a combination of many things. Success has to be self-happiness. It has to be, I guess, union. If it's a union with friends, maybe family. If it's a union within yourself. If you want to be a loner and you find it satisfying to go to church, to go on a retreat on your own. It's finding fulfilledness. You want to have self-happiness, fulfilledness. You want to have accomplishment of your goals. In order to feel that you're successful, you have to set a goal for yourself. If you live a day-to-day without saying, this is what I want to accomplish in 3 months and 6 months by the end of the year, you start to really feel empty. I say it would be self-love, satisfaction, and definitely setting goals for yourself.
I like that. Those are good. Growing up, I thought success was just having money.
I didn't even mention that. I forgot, having money.
No, but I thought that was it.
Yeah.
You know, you grow up and you're like, oh, él tiene dinero, that family is wealthy. That's it. Mm-hmm. They're successful because they have money. But I realized there's so many elements to success. Freedom to me was the biggest.
What stood out?
Yeah, freedom. Meaning I'm free to do what I want to do. And when I'm able to do that freely, that's when I'm going to feel 100% successful. And it isn't even about how much money I'd be making at the time. It's just being able to go on trips when I want to, mm-hmm. you know, take my family, do this, or just take the day off, or work less hours a week. That's freedom to me. It's not like, oh, I just want to stay home and do nothing. No, I want to work. I enjoy it. I just don't want to hustle anymore. Mm-hmm. That I learned how to do the self-care now and, you know, treat myself. And I have a task to take myself on a date soon. I don't know where to go. I'm so nervous.
Well, you said you're going somewhere soon.
I am. Well, that's a retreat with other women. But my task, I'm on a spiritual journey right now. And we were told we have to take ourselves on a date.
By yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I haven't done that.
So what are you thinking?
Comedy show?
I'm
Comedy nervous. Show? No, I don't know. I gotta think. How would you like to be remembered?
I think authentic. Like, I want to be able to, like, leave your couch and you'd say, like, you know, we had a conversation and she was real. I answered something.
I mean, it was pretty real. I feel like you were extremely authentic from the beginning. Like, you were very open, and I try not to ask anything to anyone that's mm-hmm. going to make people uncomfortable. But authenticity is huge.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people have it. So that is a good response.
Wonderful. I hope I'm remembered that way.
You will be. As long as you continue the way you're going, you will be. Trust me.
And I'll text you when I'm
when you say no,
when I start saying no.
So let the listeners know where they could find you and the boutique if you want to share, because it's online. So that's a good plug.
My personal Instagram's Divina_L15. And then you can follow our boutique. It's Diosa Divina Couture. And that's on Instagram also. So it was a pleasure speaking to you all. And thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Josie.